Hello and welcome to the third episode of The Person Behind the Pen. Thank you so much for taking time to join us this evening. Isn't this exciting? I can't believe that a show has been created to highlight the 62 co-authors that have written with the gifted bipolar writer, now guiding brilliant writers. I was chatting with Rachael backstage, and when I started this journey as the gifted bipolar writer, I never dreamed that it would one day turn into a publishing company. In fact, all I wanted to do was write, and with every chapter I wrote, I just wanted to write more. And to now feel, in some sense, that I could help be the vehicle to people experiencing having their stories out there, I can't find words. Incredible is so not a word in this sense. But when you really are passionate about something, and I know that word is just thrown around, but when you wake up in the morning and this is what you want to do, when you go to sleep at night and you cannot quiet your mind because so many ideas are going around and around and around in there, and you know you need to sleep, to me, it's more than living your dream. It's more than living your life purpose. It's in every cell. It's in every fiber of your being. It's in every pore. Tiredness feels like greatness. Greatness feels like humility. Everything is just, it becomes such a bundle of emotion, and you don't want to miss any of it. And I have 62 beautiful souls to thank for giving me a chance to feel that. It's really different when you share your story, but can actually then pick up a book and open the pages like so and see your picture in there. And that's a copy of Rachael with her mom. I believe this was Halloween I think, and her mom. Um, well, I know that during Halloween, her mom would pull out her old singer sewing machine and sew her Halloween costumes, and I know that that's in the book. Um, so when I see pictures like this and I read the stories behind it, and I really think about the legacies that we were left and the ones that we will leave, um, I got very melancholy for a little bit today. I like to nap, and what's one of the things I'm enjoying about running my own business. So I went and I laid down at about 2 with my puppy. He didn't seem to be feeling very well today. And I closed my eyes, but then they popped open and I was just staring. I don't know. My mind was on my mom. I think part of it is because my dear friend Melissa Ann Houston is celebrating her mom's heavenly birthday today. And, that was on my mind. And I'm laying there and I'm thinking, I'm wearing her shirt. I'm wearing one of my mom's shirts today. And I wasn't thinking that when I woke up this morning and took it out the closet. And I had so much of her clothing, her jewelry. And think about it, but these earrings I'm wearing are hers, and this ring that's never left my thumb. Um, since she passed away, is actually hers too. And that's just the material stuff. But it's funny how wearing a shirt of hers can make me feel wrapped in her love, and it does. And when I think of how crazy proud she would have been of me reaching this far in my journey, um, when I think about you know the things I've gone through in my life, we've all gone through stuff, but I get to make a decision to leave my job, start a publishing company, and leave a legacy for my son. Um, I'm not saying he's ever going to want to write or publish, but this is something I will leave behind for him. Maybe he'll sell the company one day, who knows? But all I know is I'm building something for myself that I will leave to my son, and I'm not leaving him the legacy of a paycheck because it's my choice not to do so. And I have that choice, and that's the beauty of life, right? That we have choices. So before we bring Rachel up, because I don't like to spend a ton of time up here yapping because there's always so much for the quotas to share, I do want to say welcome and hello. Hola, Margaret Martinez. ¿Cómo está, hermosa? Adrian, hello. Charles, how are you from Mrs. Freckles? Hi, Melissa. I'm glad that you joined us today and thinking of you in a very special way. Sharon, hi. Thanks so much for coming as well. And the majority of the people here today have written with us in anthologies. I see Kinga just popped in as well. Hi, Kinga. And some have not. And this makes my heart very joyful because this is the purpose of this show. It is to highlight the co-author of this story. It is to say that Guiding Brilliant Writers is here to guide writers in owning the brilliance of their story. And honestly, I think that every person should give themselves the gift of being published at least once in their lifetime. It is an incredible feeling. It is an experience like somebody says, well, I want to bungee jump before I die. Yeah, that's not me. I can't even ride a bicycle properly. But the thing is, that what I can do, I want to try. And if this is something that you can do, I want you to try. Um, it's healing, it's empowering, it's everything. You don't have to be a writer to share your story. That's what the publisher and editor are there for. They're there to help you. But leave that piece of yourself behind. Put that imprint on the world. Leave it there. I'm telling you, generations from now, somebody is going to read maybe just a paragraph out of your story. You do not know what they will pick up. You do not know what they will walk away with. You do not know what they will share with another. You think of how much we have received through stories, even ones we haven't read, just ones that another has shared with us. So, too early to get so emotional in the show. We've got about 50 minutes to go. All right, so I am going to go ahead and introduce Rachael, and I'm going to bring her up. Rachael Garnett is the AI whisperer. So she's certified AI consultant, and I will tell you that her procedures of automation. Now it's funny because we're friends, and I have the offer at any time I want. I know Rachael can help make my life so much simpler. But what I love about my friendships with people is that, like, we see both sides and respect where each other's at. And like Rachel knows right now, I'm dinosaur, old school. I love my pen and paper, but I'm also growing a business. And in 2 years' time, I can't be where I am now, which is going to mean that I have to embrace some of the tools necessary to help me scale. So it means a lot to me that as I am going through my journey, that I get to meet people who could help me along the way that I already trust. And that's huge because when you're in a market searching for people, I could just imagine how difficult that is. Because I have people searching for publishers. Well, not really. Most of the people, no, all the people who come to me are through referrals. But isn't that the best though? Because you could trust that the person that you're about to work with, that somebody close to you trusts them, right? So, uh, Dr. Tanya and Christy, I want to say hi. So you guys just pop in as well. All right. So here's another thing I absolutely adore about Rachel. She loves cats. I love dogs, and it's not that I don't love cats. I do love cats too. It's just I can't have a cat and a dog where we are right now. It's just a little bit too small. Um, I also love the fact that she has this. When I found out that she had this talent, I was like, okay, this is not a talent. I think somebody that's so AI proficient wouldn't necessarily be in this industry, but she is, and I have seen her work, and I am blown away. And I do wish she lived near her because I actually have a chair that I really love and want to keep, but I hide it tucked under a desk for right now because it's a little stain from my coffee. Rachel reupholsters furniture. I mean, just stunning pieces. So I love that she works with both her hands and her brain. I'm very much a hands-on girl myself. And you guys see lots of videos of me mowing the lawn outside. Can't wait to do that this summer. Oh, yes, I get to do that in the middle of the day because I don't have a job. Anyway, I said I was going to bring her up about, 5 minutes ago? All right, so with that, let us bring Rachael Garnett to the stage. My friend, hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm
You
just
ex-
thrilled to have you here. And I'm really glad that you're here because you have been so busy. I sent you a message and I know I might hear back for a couple of days. And I know when that's happening, I'm like, Rachel's out there she's giving a speech, she's doing a presentation, she's feet on the ground somewhere. That's why I'm not hearing back from her in real time. So introduce yourself. What's been going on? Um,
oh my gosh, it's so weird to talk about myself. So, first of all, this is my first LinkedIn Live. And of course, Nick would be the person that I want to do it with because I so much love you and trust you. And it's really beautiful for me to do this with you for the first time. So, stuff about me. Um, Married, two adult boys, lots of cats. We have a dog. But yeah, I have been really kind of obsessed with AI for the past few years, starting with making AI assisted art and really moved into, I guess, whenever Chat GPT came out, like fall of 2022, just really moved in using that. I was a nonprofit fundraiser helping me write boilerplates and doing research for grants. And it was so helpful because I was, writing 40 grants a year, and had a really big success rate, like around 90%. Not so much due to me, it's just like all of the research and relationship building, but the AI really, really helped me. And so I knew what it could do for other people if it was helping me. And so that is sort of a roundabout way of how this started. My husband and I actually started a business together selling B2B tech, which we knew was not going to work very quickly. And I was at a mastermind in Las Vegas and met my mentor, Jeff Hunter, who has a virtual staffing agency, but he also started the first AI consulting program in the world. So I do like to say that I'm one of the first AI certified consultants globally because it was the first program. And there are 160 of us currently. And it's just like, it's kind of, Nick, you were talking about having really great people. You're like a really great people. Jeff is a really great, people, like and one of the things is that I love about that program is that he wants for the consultants in the program to be the very, very best, to have the most knowledge. And so it's constant learning. It's like every Wednesday night or Thursday night, 2.5 hours, we're learning every single week. I've been doing this for almost, a year. So it's just, continuous learning, and AI is changing so much. So I do want to say a couple of things. The photo that you showed was actually my mom and I, it was sixth grade, summer after my sixth grade year, we were on a cruise on the Nile and they had a costume party. And so she dressed
Almost
up.
got
I
it
think
right.
she was like, you did. And I love costumes. She was, I think, like Cleopatra, and I had, some sort of pharaoh's crown on, but that was really, really fun.
Absolutely adores. And I love that part of what you showed in the what you showed, ugh, blah, blah. What you showed in the picture was somewhat depicted in your story.
It is.
That's what I'm
Yes.
trying to say, because the picture didn't just show yourself, the co-author, but the picture itself speaks to the story. And I love that your mom is in the picture with you. I really, really do.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I also wanted to say, what else did I want to say? Oh, I wrote some stuff down and then I can't read my handwriting, but you're the most incredible publisher. I'm so happy. You're the
I'm
best.
writing that you do grants. I'm writing you do grants. I'm like, I didn't know she does grants.
Yeah. And that is also something that that writing is so technical, right? It's very technical. You're limited to a certain number of words or characters, and you need to write the grants in the language for each specific foundation, like the language that they write to use. Really not very creative. So doing this with you it's a whole new, like, using my brain in such a different way. This more creative personal writing after writing technically, like this grant writing for so long, and never even thinking that I would be in a book. Like I never just crossed my mind.
Oh, great. Then
And
you were
here
in
we
three.
are, like international best-selling authors.
You've been in three now, and
I
you have
have
a
been
third
in
one,
3.
and you're about to be
Mm-hmm.
in a fourth.
I'm about to be in a 4th.
Listen,
Yep.
that was the perfect intro. Unless you to read your notes now, it's the perfect intro to start your chapter reading if you like, or if you can read those notes.
Okay. Yes,
You're
I'm
gonna
ready.
remind me later that you write grants, because I'm probably not gonna be able to read that back. I'm just saying.
I'll remind you. I'll send you messages. I used to be a grant writer. So anyway, yes. So I just so you know, I have read this chapter over out loud several times today, so I can try not to cry, because it's an ugly cry, but I know that I should just let it out if I feel like it. So anyway, so I'm ready. I'm ready to start reading. So my chapter is called Proof of Love. And just for context, this is written as a letter to my 2 sons about my mom. So, dear boys, the last time I saw her alive, your grandmother, Julie, wore denim shorts and a green floral patterned shirt at Baylor Hospital in downtown Dallas. It was the day after you were born, Micah. A scarf contained her gray hair that was once fiery red, though nothing had ever truly contained her. These are the details we tell ourselves matter. What someone wore on that last day, how their turquoise and silver sounded against their skin, the way they looked at a baby with love so pure it still takes my breath away that they will never see grow up. 3 weeks later, she was gone at 59. This is how time works. One moment, you're watching someone hold your newborn son, and the next, you're learning how to mother without a mother. Some facts present themselves as story problems. If a woman dies 3 weeks after seeing her grandson, how many memories can fit in the space between? I keep certain objects arranged like evidence of a life the world didn't understand. The drum painted with her spirit animal watches over me in my study. Egyptian artifacts from our Nile journey, Bastet and Taweret, witness how her legacy continues. Her quantum physics books line my shelves, their worn spines, a testament to a brilliance that made the Baptist ladies of Abilene nervous. They never learned how to categorize a single mother who could quote Einstein while wearing flowing dresses and Native American jewelry that announced itself like wind chimes. Here's what I want you to know. In the yellow bathroom of the Abilene house where both she and I grew up, she would French braid my limp, thin hair into something perfect. I watched her rings catch light in the mirror. She wore big jewelry like armor, each turquoise stone and silver bangle a shield against Baptist ladies' whispers, though I wouldn't understand that until years later. The crystals she hung in the window cast rainbow patterns across the white tile floor, while wind chimes sang outside, every chime a quiet rebellion against a town that preferred its truth come from pulpits, not quantum mysticism. These details matter because they tell us who she was, a woman who made magic from ordinary moments, who read quantum physics while others read romance novels, and who wrapped cats in towels to sleep with me at night, knowing they would escape to sleep with her instead. Daffodil appeared attached to our screen door one day. His claws were caught like fate knocking. He stayed for 25 years, longer than she could. And some facts arranged themselves into poems, a cat who stayed, a mother who couldn't, the way certain loves outlast their objects. At Halloween, while other mothers bought their costumes ready-made, she would spend hours at her old black Singer machine, measuring, cutting, and stitching, turning mere fabric into proof of love. A rabbit costume with an impossibly fluffy tail, a clown suit with a rainbow of precise ruffles, warm breath blown on my cold hands on a dark Halloween night. These details matter because they tell us what we need to know about mothers and the things they do to show love without saying it. In 1985, while Live Aid rocked 2 continents and scientists discovered the hole in the ozone layer, your grandmother took me to Canyon de Chelly. We stood among ancient dwellings while she explained how time isn't linear but circular, how past and present exist simultaneously. The Baptist ladies back home would have clicked their tongues at such talk. But everything she said, wrapped in her unhurried West Texas drawl, made perfect sense among those red rocks and ancient spirits. This is what we inherit, not just genes and habits, but ways of seeing the world that changes. Until the stock market crash of '87, we believed in a certain kind of magic, the kind that let us cruise down the Nile, dressed as queens, our fingers trailing through ancient waters, while gold and lapis lazuli glinted against our skin, the kind that made us feel at home in the sun-bleached marble Olympic Stadium, where ancient Greeks had raced and wrestled beneath the Athenian sky, the kind that filled overflowing shopping carts and made the world feel boundless, every horizon promising another adventure. Then the money disappeared. And she taught me something about grace and falling. That mind that could grasp quantum theory couldn't navigate the simple mathematics of survival. Yet she maintained certain rituals. Every day, I mean every day, Taco Bell, 2 burrito supremes and a taco for her, 2 tacos and a burrito, beans and cheese only, for me. Even now, I order the same thing. Someone called this habit. I call it communion. Here's what I want you to know about contradiction. When she drove drunk with me in the car, weaving across lanes while I held my breath in terror, she was both the source of my fear and my only protection from it. When she left me with strangers, she was both the abandoner and the only home I knew. Some facts arranged themselves like constellations she once mapped. A mother who danced between brilliance and darkness, a daughter who learned to stand still, and 2 sons who never had to learn the geometry of loving through fear. Consider the evidence of inheritance. Your great-grandparents' dining table, where your grandmother once worked, her crafting projects leaving permanent marks, glue gun burns, and heat circles that I've never repaired. A practical mother would fix such imperfections, but she taught me that certain damage tells its own story. Like the way when I was young, I chipped the ivory keys of her Chickering baby grand with my teeth, all teaching me to understand somehow that love doesn't require perfection. You did your homework at that same table where she once crafted and drew astrological charts. I stayed nearby, cooking dinner, answering questions only when asked, insistent that your achievements be your own. This was intentional. Every moment of stability I gave you was a choice, a transformation of inheritance. Your father and I met in recovery, and we built a life from sobriety's solid ground. And these details matter because they tell us something about how love persists beyond the body, beyond belief, and beyond what broken histories claim is possible. In the Abilene of my childhood, she taught astrology classes at our house, drawing charts by hand before computers made such things simple. She'd spend hours with books spread across her bed, interpreting the mathematics of fate while the Baptist ladies whispered their disapproval. While they quoted scriptures, she spoke of stars. And these details matter because they tell us something about different kinds of courage, different ways of seeing the world. Certain traits pass through generations like light through prisms, breaking into unexpected patterns. Your grandmother's legacy flows through your veins in a way that defies simple genetics. I see her in the way that you both approach the world, questioning, seeking, becoming. The way you, Micah, with your gorgeous big heart, feel everything so deeply, it sometimes threatens to overwhelm you, just as she did. Gabriel, methodical and brilliant, you share her relentless drive to understand and her stubborn blindness to your own genius. Or how I hear her laughter from both of you, echoing across the decades. That you don't share her spiritual beliefs, you don't need to. Legacy isn't what we leave behind, it's what lives in the space between heartbeats. Here are the things that remain constant. The dining table still bears her marks, just as I bear her influence, not erased, but transformed. When you did your homework there, you were writing your own stories on top of hers and mine, adding new layers of meaning to old scars. In Abilene, where worth was measured by Sunday church attendance and casserole recipes, she taught me that love doesn't always wear approved clothing or speak in accepted tongues. I taught you that love doesn't require perfection to be endless. You know she died by overdose, that drugs claimed her in the end, and you know that I walked the same path until I didn't. What you may not understand is how I learned to hold both truths, that she was an addict who endangered me, and that she was the woman who made magic from ordinary moments. I learned this when I came to terms with my own complexity, my own capacity to be both broken and beautiful. Just as she wrapped cats in towels knowing they would escape, because some rituals are about trying, not succeeding. I got sober the year or so before she died and have stayed for 26 years now. When I told her I had quit, she said she liked how the drugs made her feel. For the first time, I understood something about acceptance, about how love persists even when we can't save the ones who taught us how to love, about how some patterns can be broken while others continue. When you were young, I would breathe warm air on cold hands during trick or treat, just as she did. I made magic out of ordinary moments. I understand now about loving without judgment, about making beauty from what seems broken, about how addiction can run through bloodlines like rivers until someone builds a dam. These are her gifts rewritten in a new generation's language. Some stories end where they begin, in a hospital room, a grandmother holding a child, love passing through generations like light through her beloved crystals, breaking into colors that we don't have names for yet. Your grandmother held you once, Micah, 3 weeks before she left this world, and she never met you, Gabe. Except perhaps in some quantum realm, she understood better than I ever could. But you both carry her in ways that defy simple classification in your tremendous hearts and in your brilliant minds, each a prism of her light. Here's what remains constant: the way profound loves outlast their objects, how cats still prefer to sleep with mom, who's me now, and how every time I enter Taco Bell, I order what I ordered, a ritual that tastes like memory. How particular patterns persist, the way I mother you as she did, wounded, unconditional, the way I understand now that love doesn't have to be perfection to be endless, and the way I try to make ordinary moments shimmer with possibility. Legacy isn't what we leave behind, it's what lives in the spaces between heartbeats and the way we breathe warmth into cold hands and how we learn to love despite and because of our flaws. She taught me that, and every day I teach it to you. We're all quantum entangled, existing in multiple states simultaneously, mothers and children, past and present, broken and whole. This is what she understood all along, reading her physics books at midnight while the rest of Abilene slept. Love, love, moo moo, momo. P.S. The dining table stays as it is. Some stories need their scars to be complete. The end.
I know. I think I needed a moment to compose myself. Let's take that moment. I think we both need a moment for some composure.
Yes, some water.
Share some of the comments.
Yes, Jason. Thank you, Andrea. Thanks, Tanya. Thank you. Sharon.
That's just a handful of the comments. There are many more, and no doubt after the show you would go back. If we were having this conversation before, I ball muddled right now. You're a very talented storyteller.
Thank you.
Let's start there. You call forth so much in this chapter. You impart so much to your boys, and you hold your mother's essence with you in the realest sense. And that is, I think that is something that even after some of our relatives have passed, we can still sometimes struggle with facing the reality of what was. Because of our own shortcomings, we need to remember them in a certain way. And you honored your mother's life by saying exactly who she was.
Yes.
No shame because there's no reason for any. You celebrated every part of who she was and understood that every part of who she was is what made her your mother. And she had a very strong sense of who she was, from
Yes.
what I can feel, not even read, feel in this chapter. She knew what made her feel good. She knew what the consequences were. She did it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a smoker. I make that as I hide none of that because all my co-authors are on screen while I'm smoking and story developing with them. And I know the truth of it. And to something as simple as that, having nothing to do with legacy, resonated with me so deeply. And that is why I want people to share their stories. There are words that I wrote down here. A ritual that tastes like memory. There are things that I eat, things that I smell that will automatically bring my mother to mind.
Oh, yeah.
And I've never thought about it that way. A ritual that tastes like memory. God,
I think it's funny that it's around Taco Bell, but it is, and
it doesn't matter what
it does.
though.
No, I know. It's funny, but yeah, it is. It's real, and it's always powerful for me.
Guys and gals, including Matthew Garnett, Rachel's husband, the link to join us on stage if you would like to ask Rachel any questions. You just want to show her some love. It is in the comments of the post. I will run right now. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to drop this. I know it's not quite fair, but the best I can do right now is I'm going to drop the StreamYard stage link into the Legacy 2024 Anthology chat that we have with all the co-authors. That might help the co-authors to be able to find it a little quicker. Um, and if you would like to join us on stage, like I said, I already went ahead and dropped the link in the comments of this live show. Um, we always say that, and then people can't find the link, and it gets all confusing. And come to think of it, it's pretty straightforward. Grab a pen and paper. Timothy's telling you you are so brave. If you want to get on stage and
Thank
you don't
you.
want to go dig through the comments, I'm asking you right now to grab a
Okay.
pen and a piece of paper. All right. This is your last chance. You got the pen and piece of paper? Okay. So I'm going to read the backstage link. It ain't that difficult.
Thank you,
HTTPS
Kinga.
backslash, I'm sorry, StreamYard.com. Easy enough. Backslash N like Nicole, G like Garnet, A like Apple, V like Victor, T like Tom, R like Robert, Z like Zebra, the number 4, the number 6, and J like Jack. So let's say that one more time. It's backslash N like Nicole, G like Garnet, A like Apple, V like Victor, T like Tom, R like Robert, Z like Zebra, 4, 6, and J like Jack. So I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that before live, but you know what? It's okay because sometimes it's just the worst trying to find the backstage link because you want to get up here. All right, so I am going to ask everyone to take a minute as well and connect with Rachel on LinkedIn. So I'm going to throw up a QR code, and grab your phones. Please make sure that you connect. Radio. Rachel is going to be writing in the upcoming anthology. We choose to be
Hmm.
more than our diagnoses, and this is going to launch July 1st. It's going to be the third book Rachel is going to be writing in with myself and
Hmm.
the co-authors that have rejoined, or all the new ones that have joined. And Rachel actually wrote for the first time with me in a People First Professional networking platform. That was a trilogy of anthologies. And her husband, Matthew, also contributed a chapter to that same trilogy. It was amazing to have husband and wife on writing. He is as talented a writer as she is. Yes, I did just say that. Um, I love that they have their unique styles. And it's always amazing to perhaps read a tad of the parallel of a story between a husband and a wife, but in a difference of their perspective. If you read both chapters, you might pick up on a little bit of it. And I find that so very interesting because the book was a people first professional networking platform and it was all about LinkedIn. So there was some sort of a theme, right? The traces of how they each viewed their experiences. Uh, it was just a good opportunity to see how two people who live together or married or on the same platform could see the platform in similar and different ways. It was not something that I think that you would get an opportunity to see every day.
Well,
So
and
wait, go ahead.
I do want to say for that book, like I was really pretty new to LinkedIn, which is I was in the first book, why we came and why we stay. But Matthew has been on LinkedIn for quite a while. So I really love that I was in the first book, he was in the last book, and it was just those completely different experiences. I didn't even know he was on LinkedIn or used LinkedIn. Like I just, was not super aware. And so yeah, very different experiences.
Yeah, and that just goes to tell you how you pick up the trilogy. And the first book Rachel was in was this one, Why We Came, Why We Stay. I believe Matthew was in the last one,
Uh-huh.
How We Found Our Purpose and Started Our Business. So, here you are with the wife who's new to the platform, and you have the husband who's been on the platform. And it's really mind blowing to see all these different perspectives of people who are on the platform, especially when we talk about how much we all connect, grow friendships, grow deeper meaning of community. Yet we all have experienced similarities, serious disparities on it. Jason, for example, Jason's chapter cracked me up. Jason's like, I came on, posted, and was attacked by a madman. He did not expect that. And that's what I love. I love the realness in all of the stories. And that's the thing with the Legacy Chronicles now, because we're going to do 2025, is you can't get away from the truth as you see it in the legacy that you live, because this is your journey that you're living right now. And you did such a beautiful job of depicting your mother's journey, but through your eyes. Because truly, no one could share your mom's story, needless to say, the way your mom would share hers, because she's the one that walked in her shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, a couple of quick questions. I know you mentioned, and if you're not comfortable answering, don't answer because you know me, I'm mistransparent. I know that this is not the only, well, I am not the only publisher you've worked with. And what was your experience like publishing with a different publisher? And why, oh, not why, because that might sound weird too. I'm going to ask you, why wouldn't you take a chance to publish with another publisher? It's because we spoke about this backstage. I still think that everybody who loves to write should experience publishing with another publisher. Uh, I'm not sending anybody away. I'm just trying to say that, it's a good way if you understand where your various alignments could be. And the different publishers have different experiences with different genres and stuff like that too. You know what I mean? So did I talk so much that I lost you in the question?
No, you didn't. I've got the question. So,
Sorry.
the first book, a friend, you know, a spiritual friend invited me. This was another kind of anthology called the Creative Life series. And, she invited me. She said, you have to write. Like, I just feel it. It's like, she's like an empath. I feel it. You have to write, you know, all of this. And so when I got into it, and I had the first two books, and they were, you know, so thick, kind of like your books. And then, you know, by the time that we got into it, there ended up being over 100 authors. And it's, to me, I felt like it was very easy to get lost. I uh, there were just a lot of things. Like, I was not happy with my chapter. I felt like it wasn't fleshed out. It was my first book. I think the first time you write, you feel like you have to like say everything, your whole life story, and then you get that
That is
out,
true.
and then you can move to other stuff. But you know, another thing that I thought was really interesting about that book is that, oh, I shouldn't have said what the series is called, because now I'm going to say something negative. Um, uh, we were not able to
Well,
buy authors' copies to resell.
this is
Any
not negative,
copies?
it's the truth, right?
Yeah, so
And I want
anything that we wanted to resell, we had to buy at full price. And then I'm like, well, how, I can't sell it for more than full price. Not that I would have sold it anyway, but there were things about it that really sort of rubbed me the wrong way. So Kinga posted about the people's networking platform on our one of our networking groups here in Texas. She posted in the feed, and I don't know why, you know, it's just that serendipity. I contacted Nick and I said, I want to be in your book. And it just has been um, the experience of the community that has really been built. And I think that the other publisher tried to do that as well. But uh, you just have a really great understanding, or meeting all of us where we are, being super supportive, you know, offering incredible suggestions. It was just such a completely different experience that, you know, I just want to do all the books with you until you kick me out.
I'm not kicking anybody out, and it's not even unkind words to the other publisher, because at the end of the day, everybody works differently. And I could tell you the trilogy and 35 other co-authors, it's a lot. It does draw a lot of energy from you. So I could just imagine 100, and what even trying to wrangle something like that in would be. Um, but I am glad that you had two experiences, so you could draw the advantages and disadvantages from both,
Mm-hmm.
right? You
And
can't
and
really compare
the first
without another. Uh,
Yeah, the
yeah, you
first
can't
one
really
wasn't so
compare.
bad that I didn't want to do it again. I just wanted to, you know, try it again with someone else.
Thank you. And I guess I'm glad you brought up about the co-author copies, because everyone does it differently. And a lot of what I'm doing is still learning, right? I mean, like, I hate to tell you guys, but it's been, wait a minute. The first book I published was December 2023. And by 24 I published five. Oh God, it's not even 2 years.
Yeah. Trial by
Isn't
fire.
that right? Yeah. Listen, you people, you're publishing with somebody that hasn't even been publishing for 2 years. Do you know this? I better not be scaring myself. Holy crap. But I think for me too, I published with two different publishers before. All right. I started publishing myself.
I didn't know
And
that.
I did. I did. So March of 2023, I published the first. Then I published two more in 23, um, with two different publishers. And at the end of 23, I said, okay, I'm taking the next step. I'm going to publish my own. I had no idea what the hell it is I was doing, but we got it done. And 21 people were happy, including myself. And I think when I think about a boss and a leader, right? And people are always talking about, oh, leaders need to learn this, and leaders, no, no, no. Bosses need to learn this so they can become leaders, because there's a difference to me. And so, therefore, I was able to take away the best parts of the experiences and the not so best parts of the experiences and try to make those a bit better. And I think that that's really where I'm landing with people right now. When people feel a certain way, it's because, let's say, I needed to feel I was the only writer you were working with, even if I only felt that for the hour you were with me. I needed to feel that you were invested in me being able to put my voice out there as my voice, not as your voice, the publisher, not as, this is misspelled, it should be with a U, but, you know, publish a lady who grew up in Trinidad and that's British English and, not American English. Or, people telling me when you edit this book, just make sure if you spell honor, HONOR, you spell it like that all the way through. Now, why would I do that? I have people in the UK with a U. I'm from Trinidad and we have a U. I'm not about to change people's spelling. If that's the biggest thing that I have to worry about in editing somebody's book, that's a problem. Because really and truly, I am trying to help you get heard the way you want to get heard. And that's why I told people I am not by any means a gold standard editor. I have one of those on my team if you want a gold standard editor. And she's phenomenal and she's the greatest person to work on certain types of books. But if you want to write with somebody and be able to share the real parts of you, the story is meant to connect others to you and others to each other. It's not meant to give people a headache. And one day your boys are going to pick this book up and they're going to relearn things about their grandmother or maybe learn things they didn't know before. They are going to relearn things about their mom or learn things that they did not know before. And I think the same of my son. I have now written in two of the legacy books, neither of which he's read, both of which he has a signed copy from his mother, the publisher, mind you, and he still hasn't read them.
Oh, mine either.
But one
I mean,
day,
I think I made them and they just like went through it like cursory, like probably didn't actually read it, but yeah.
but you know what? We know that one day they're going to pick those books up and they're going to hang on to every word and it's going to
Oh,
mean
yeah.
something to them. So just thank you for coming into my life. Thank you for being the person that you are, for so much of the deep conversations we've shared, even though we haven't had many. When we do get on, they go pretty deep, pretty fast. And I think that I could only feel that way with someone that I'm comfortable opening up with, even though I'm fairly transparent. Um, I have to be comfortable to go deep like that. And I'm glad for the experience you've had and that you want to continue writing with guiding brilliant writers. And please, we just have a few minutes left. Unfortunately, people are having a hard time joining the stage, but let us know what's up next for Rachel and how,
Mm.
as a community, we can support you in any way.
So, I just like Nick said, I'm going to be in the next book. So we choose to be more than our diagnosis, and so I'm this one. I've got like quite a few diagnoses, but I'm focusing on ADHD. And I had told myself after the last book that I would not write anything else unless it had to do with AI. So one of the things I'm going to be sharing is how AI has really helped me with a lot of these ADHD symptoms, behaviors that I have, how it's really helping. So I'm going to merge them both together. So thank you for that. Let's see. In May, I have two conferences coming up where I'll be speaking, Leading Age Colorado and Leading Age Texas. My largest client is a nonprofit dementia care organization. And so we are presenting a case study. And then I'll be having a workshop and teaching people how to create AI personas, which is what I excel in. And I'm really, really excited about that. The one in Colorado is in Vail, and I've never been there before. So I'll get to fly there, probably just stay for the day, but that's super exciting to me. And then I'm going to be working on like a series of an education program with a series of, 4 teachings, learnings about AI that will be in person here in Fort Worth. And really just things are so awesome in the AI world right now in terms of agentic AI. And I'm just spending a lot of time learning how to build these agents and whatnot.
Wonderful. I had to mute myself because you'd hear me scribbling away what I can't read back, but I'm going to read this back because, as usual, what I tell all of the co-authors, we have group chats that I always invite you all to drop what's happening in your life in there. You never know who may want to attend, who may be connected, who it may resonate with. And 2 things came up for me: Colorado. So your co-author, Jennifer Penfold, in a message to my family, lives in Colorado.
Oh,
I
really?
send you a message after this. She makes her own natural honey and at the moment is working on bringing it wholesale. I ordered honey from her that she made in her own kitchen. So I'm going to send you that information because you never know. You guys might be 5 minutes away from each other. And then, sorry.
Oh no, I was just in the Leading Age Texas is in Austin, so I'm hoping that I get to see Kinga there.
Oh, awesome.
In
So
Austin, yeah.
you guys just let me know when that's happening. Maybe I'll get my butt down there too.
Yes, oh my gosh, that'd be awesome.
I believe in Texas is also Gabe Leal. I don't know if you know Gabe.
Gabe lives in Dallas. He lives close to me. We haven't met, but we've communicated.
Awesome, all awesome stuff. Because I actually believe I might be working with Gabe pretty soon too on podcasts. So with that being said, I need to get down to Texas. So many of my friends are down in Texas. Anyway, here am I. Look at me. I'm connecting and doing networking on a live show. But that's another great part about being in anthologies. You get to meet so many other people, and with 21 people, especially when there's repeat, right? You really, life is busy as it is, right? Time is of the essence. When you get to work with somebody on an anthology more than once, it just gives you that extra time to learn more about the individual. And I share this now with the crew, not in a bragging manner at all. But then why am I saying that? People that know me know that's not the case. When you don't believe that your connections can bring you opportunities, okay? Shift that mindset right now. All the business that has come to me has come through referrals. And since I started a business, people are introducing me to people who need things. And I may not be able to provide them, but I in turn now have been able to pass work along to other people. So Rachel took what was going on with her life and she turned her life around and she's building a legacy for her children and she's building that legacy in the way that she was taught to love by a great woman. And I just want to thank you so much for coming on. And do you have any last words you would like to share?
No, I'm just really, I'm really glad that she came across as beautiful,
and strong, and
that's really that's what I really wanted for the book, and so that's all.
Rachel, how could any human being and a single mother at that not be strong when she had her own beliefs and she lived in a town where her beliefs were different than hers, and she did not let the whispers stop her from being who she was at her core?
She was unapologetically her all the time.
That is an incredibly strong woman.
Yeah.
Period. There, women in today's world where so much of it's still not level, but it's leveled out quite a bit since 30, 40, 50 years ago. A woman still can't begin to own that. And this woman owned it.
She
Darling,
did.
that's strength. That's strength. So
She did. And in the 70s and 80s too, like, um, yeah, very different time from we are today. But yeah.
well, you blessed us with this reading. I know you shall be
Thank you
on
for
again.
giving me the opportunity.
Of course, you'll be on again at some point later in the year to hopefully read the one from the first trilogy. Maybe Matthew will come on and read his. Oh, you guys should come over. We should do a 2-hour special and you could both read it.
Yeah,
You
we
can read
could.
the first and you can read the third. That would be so awesome. We'll have to grab popcorn. Well, thanks again so much for being here. And guys and gals, love that you came. I hope you took something away. We'll be back on Thursday with Leslie Flowers. Leslie is also going to be doing a reading from one of the anthologies she wrote in with me. I don't know which one yet, but I will be putting out that event. And this is the person behind the pen. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see everyone on Thursday. Rachel, much love, and give Matthew
Much
the
love to
biggest.
you. Thank you.
All right. I will see you guys on Thursday.